Evening, everyone. It's a little late, 7:30, but this is your Monday closing comment, and it is video number 496. And as always, I remind you, if you like the work, just hit that subscribe button and even like it. Anyway, today was an interesting day in the market. We closed up 423.45 or 1.6% in the Dow. Excuse me, but the market was all over the place. We were up 500, we were back to up 120, and then the later part of the day we rallied pretty strongly. The weakest of the indexes was the NASDAQ, which spent a fair amount of time under the negative sign for the day, but finished up 4602 or 0.42%. The S&P was likewise the same, was up about 50, was back down to up 12, and it came on and finished up 40.28 or 1.23%. The Russell was the star today, up a little over $30, 1.96%, and the transports were up 110, which was just under 8%. In any event, we had a fair amount of excitement during the day. The ISM numbers, which came out around 10 o'clock, were pretty good. The number was 59.3, and it was expected to be 55.7. So that was kind of interesting. The new orders index, though, was up 67.9, and that index is the highest reading since January of 2004. So that's pretty darn impressive. Okay, so PayPal had earnings after the close, and it beat both top and bottom line. Venmo has now done in the quarter 44 billion in transfers and payments, and has 65 million users. For a while there, I was trying to figure out, since I use Venmo and there's no charge, what that really meant. But there is a Venmo credit card coming out, and I'm sure that that will add a great deal to transactions. In the meantime, the stock had closed at 187.76 and immediately traded down to 174. The close or most recent price is 176.60. That's down 9.53 or 5%. But obviously, PayPal has been one of the stars in this market, as opposed to the credit card side. The payment side, which has no loss reserves, has acted really well for both PayPal. Obviously, Venmo is a part of PayPal, but Square, these companies are processing payments without risk. So that puts them a little above the credit card companies who, assign loan losses every quarter. Okay, Clorox also beat top and bottom line. It was up about 5 this morning, and it continued on, closed 216.03, up 878 or 4.2%. The tech companies were kind of interesting today. They were a little weaker than the rest, and Apple, which finished pretty basically unchanged, down 10 or 15 cents, has sent out an invitation for another event on November 10th, and the title of it is One More Thing, which was one of Steve Jobs' end of his speeches. Oh yeah, one more thing. There's a great deal of talk that one more thing might be Apple using their own chips instead of Intel's, and we'll see what goes on there. Intel, which has come down hard on earnings last week and the last quarter. I mean, this was a $65, $70 stock, and it closed today up 18 cents at 44.46 on an upgrade from Northland Capital, whoever they are. The Another semiconductor, On, had earnings today, and they were decent, but the stock closed 24.36, down 73 cents or 2.9%. In probably election uh, news, there was one group that looks like they would do substantially better with Mr. Biden, and that was the solar companies. Genco, JKS, 62.77, up 4.47 without any real news, up 7.6. Daqo, DAQO, 199.12, up 16.51 or 9%. And one of my old favorites, SunPower, SPWR, 16.84, up 85 cents or 5.35. SunPower was an old spinoff, and these are definitely Biden stocks. So as things get a little stranger and a little clearer tomorrow or whenever we actually know, those solar stocks have moved higher. Okay, the chart on the screen is probably the most exciting thing that happened today, and it was actually pretty interesting. I believe on last night's letter, I was talking about the fact that I thought that the oil could get down to maybe 32 or 33. Today, it started down and got all the way down to 33.64 before turning back to the upside and closing up on the day in a pretty impressive manner here. It closed at 36.81, up $1.02 after hitting that 33.64. Not sure what the news was. All of the COVID shutdowns definitely are a drag on demand, and the oil today just looked right in the face of that and turned on a dime and finished on the high. It's up a little tonight, up 26 cents. In other commodities, the gold was up 12 and change. It's up another 3 tonight. The silver, which we are long, the 2 times leveraged silver ETF, AGQ, was up today about 14 cents, and tonight it's up another 14 cents. We came down. I mentioned in last night's letter that this was kind of an interesting area and that we would see which was more important, the 100-day moving average or this little double bottom in this area. So we turned up higher, and we are still, as I said, up a little more tonight. The AGQ, which is what we're long, means that if like tonight, it's up a 0.5%, 0.6%, which means AGQ, if it closed here, or by tomorrow morning when the market opens, if this were to hold at up 0.6%, AGQ was to be up 1.2%. So that's pretty decent. The US dollar had a pretty good day again today. And last but not least, we have the chart that I have just loved. Bitcoin, it's pulling back a little, which is actually, I think, a good thing. But today's high was 14,065. It's down a little tonight, but I think that it really is set up to consolidate here between 13 and 14,000 for another leg up. And just to show you what we look like a little further out, here's the 3-year. and this is actually a new high. The high here was 13,915, and today's high, as I said, just over that at 14,065. So, all right, everyone, that's about the extent of everything that I have for you tonight, and I'll be back first thing in the morning for your pre opening call. Don't forget to subscribe.